Magandang araw, podmates. Si Howie Severino muli. Marami nagsasabi ang Pilipinas ang may pinakamahabang Christmas season sa mundo. Malalaman mo dahil hindi lang naglalabasan ng mga parol, kundi may naririnig na tayong mga kanta at may maririnig na tayong boses. Boses ni Jose Marie Chan, who is as Mr. Christmas in this part of the world as Santa Claus. Welcome to our podcast, Jose Marie Chan. Magandang araw sa'yo.
Yeah, magandang araw din sa'yo, Howie. How are you?
Mabuti naman po. You said I could call you Jo Marie in this
yes,
podcast.
Call me Jo Marie. Okay,
Yes,
first of all, Howie,
Yes.
let me correct. I am not Mr. Christmas. Neither is Santa Claus Mr. Christmas. Okay? There's only one Mr. Christmas, and that's the baby Jesus. That's the reason why we are celebrating Christmas, to celebrate his birth.
Okay, good reminder. It's appropriate for our season and in our theme, no? But you are most famous for your Christmas songs and a particular Christmas song, no? You're kind of become a symbol now of the season, no? Yung mga bare months, bare months na marinig mo na naman sila. So you have a picture of you and side by side with Mariah Carey, in a Santa Claus outfit. And then may poster pa ng Jose Marie comeback, and you're seen as a kind of an Avenger or as a movie character. Parang Hello September, and so you've become kind of a character, no, not just a singer, but kind of a character that symbolizes not just Christmas, but the whole bare, September, October, November season, no? This time of year, no, lumalabas na yung mga references to your Christmas songs, no? How do you feel about this? Is it for you? Is it simply, wow, I'm going to get busy again, or anong naging reaction niyo dito?
I feel proud. I feel proud because, and I've said this many times, that I consider my songs like my children. These songs came from the womb of my heart. That I wrote this song, over a period of nights and days. And so they're like my child, they're like my children. And so when a song of mine becomes popular, it is like seeing your son becoming president of a company, president of a bank.
What was your favorite Christmas carol when you were growing up?
Okay, in Iloilo, there was one Christmas carol that the carolers love to sing, and it's in Ilonggo, and it goes like this: O dunggan man ninyo, da ra 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 ra, la 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 la, la 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 la. Have you heard that carol before?
Yeah, yung melody parang familiar.
Okay. And of course, later on, a Cebuano song, Kay Sadyan ning Taknaa, how joyful this time is. And then the Tagalogs put in Tagalog word for it, Ang Pasko ay sumapit. That's originally a Cebuano melody that they put in Tagalog words. I bet you didn't know that, Howie.
I didn't. So there's actually a Cebuano original version of that song, bago tinagalog.
But if you ask me what Christmas songs, American Christmas songs that I grew up with, many, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. The only thing is that the melody is nice, the lyrics are beautiful, but we don't have snow in the Philippines. So it's irrelevant to say, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Okay. And then, O Come All Ye Faithful is one of my favorite Christmas carols. And another one is O Holy Night. Do you remember O Holy Night, of course?
Yes, of course. And we sang that in choir, no, in church.
Yes. O Holy Night, O Come All Ye Faithful, O Little Town of Bethlehem. Those are beautiful songs. And one which was very close to my heart is a Christmas song from the movie Scrooge. Sing a song of Christmas, and here for the time of Christmas is here. Do you know that song? No. Da 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 da.
Yes, 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 yes. Oo, oo. But yung kanta, no, let's go to this particular song that you sing again and again, even when it's not Christmas, no, yung Christmas in our hearts. Kasi I was reading up on the background of this song, no, parang originally it was not meant to be a Christmas song, no, tama ba yon? It was meant to be a song for a special occasion for a school.
That's correct. So you want me to relate the story? To tell you the story again?
Yes, please. I mean, yeah. The songwriters and song fans in our audience might be interested in hearing the history of that song in a nutshell.
In 1988, I got a phone call from a college friend of mine. Her name was Chari Cruz. Chari Cruz married to Ernie Sarate. She phoned me to say that her high school class from Assumption was celebrating their silver jubilee from high school. And she told me that she had written a poem called Ang Tubig Ay Buhay. And because that was the advocacy of the class to promote the idea that water is a precious resource that we should take care of. And she asked me if I would kindly set it to music. And I took a look at the Tagalog lyrics, and they were beautiful. So rhythmic, and even the rhyming was beautiful, was perfect. So it didn't take me a long time to compose the melody. And that melody, eventually I used for Christmas in Our Hearts. Okay, so I composed the song, the melody, and it was sung by their class, and everyone loved it, thank God. But of course, after the Silver Jubilee celebration, the song was shelved, to be forgotten, I guess. So let's go 2 years after that, 1990. 1990 saw the success of my album Constant Change, which featured the song Beautiful Girl, Please Be Careful with My Heart, My Girl, My Woman, My Friend, Can't We Start Over Again, Constant Change. And that album became the first diamond record seller. So in 1990, my record producer, the late Belia Tan of Universal Records, suggested to me, Joe, to strike while the iron is hot, to take advantage of the popularity of your Constant Change album. Why don't we come up with a Christmas album? Because you've never had a Christmas album before. So I said, yeah, that's a good idea. How much time do we need? She says, yeah, well, it's already September, and we'd like to come up with this by November. And so I said, okay, let me get to work. The first thing I did, Howie, was to gather some favorite Christmas songs of mine. Okay, English Christmas songs. May the good Lord bless and keep you. Songs like Little Christmas Tree, no one to buy you, give yourself to me. Okay. And so when I presented the list of songs to my producer, she said, wala ka bang original? Because people expect you to come up with an original Christmas song, because you're known as a singer-songwriter. Yeah. Okay. That's when I remembered the melody of Ang Tubig Ay Buhay. I said, this would make a good Christmas song. So I remember, Howie, praying to the Holy Spirit to enlighten me and to inspire me with the right lyrics to the song. Anyway, that Sunday morning, as we were coming out of church, and headed towards our car, there was a young lady who gave chase. She ran up to me And she gave me her card. She said, Mr. Chan, my name is Rina Canyiza. I'm an aspiring songwriter. It is my hope and my dream that one day you and I could collaborate on a love song. So I said, okay, I'll keep your card and I'll call you when the need arises. Thank you very much. Nice meeting you. So that was it. Then I came home. And something whispered to me, why don't you call her? Okay? There must be a reason, because nothing happens by chance. There must be a reason why she approached you after Mass. The same church, the same Mass that you went to. So I said, okay. So I gave Rina Canyiza a call. And I invited her to the house. And she did come, and I gave her the melody in a cassette. And I said, okay, listen to this melody. And I sang the melody to her. Da ra 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 ri, la 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 la. She said, it sounds like a Tagalog melody. Sabi ko, yes, because I composed that for Ang Tubig Ay Buhay. So you want Tagalog lyrics? I said, no. I want it in English because I'm more known to be an English songwriter. Although I've had songs, Howie, that I've written in Tagalog in collaboration with other lyricists, but primarily English, from deep in my heart, can we just stop and talk a while? Tell me your name, afraid for love to fit, so on and so forth. So she said, okay. So I gave her the cassette. And in a couple of days, she came back and said, the title will be Christmas in Our Hearts. I said, uy, nice title. Okay. So she gave me some words, and then I did some correction, and then I added a few more words, and then we went back and forth, until about a week later, kulang lang kami ng final verse that we could not finish. So I remember that afternoon, my driver was driving me to Pampanga. I was going to visit, I can't remember whether it's Pepsi Cola or Coca-Cola, one of my sugar clients. And in the car, as the driver was driving, I looked out of the window, and suddenly, like a bulb, the idea for the last verse came. Let love, like that starlight on that first Christmas morn, lead us back to the manger where Christ the child was born. So come, let us rejoice. Come and sing a Christmas carol. And so nabuo namin yung kanta, Christmas in Our Hearts. So I presented it to Belia Tan, my record producer, and I said, Belia, here's the song. And I sang it, and she said, it's very nice, Joe, but you know what? It sounds too much like a Christian song. I said, what's wrong with that? Christmas is a Christian celebration. And they said, no, but alam mo naman ang mga radio stations, they will not play that. Kasi it sounds too much like a Christian song. So they'll say, no, hindi pwede dito sa playlist namin. So why don't you compose a romantic Christmas song? Ay, nako. And we only have 1 week to go. Oh, okay. So very quickly, I composed, my idea of a perfect Christmas is to spend it with you. Okay? And when I played it to her, yan, sabi niya, that's the song that will become a hit. Okay, so we recorded it. Now back to Christmas in Our Hearts. I decided early on that it should be a duet. Bagay eh. Da 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 da, and then da 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 da. So it would be a nice duet. So I called up Lea Salonga, and Lea immediately said yes, because eventually I became the ninong of Lea Salonga. Anyway, she said yes. Unfortunately, Howie, her recording company would not allow her to record for my recording company. Alam mo yon? Parang competition.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, sorry, Tito Joe, sorry. Leia said, it's okay. The next person I called was Monique Wilson. Monique, could you listen to the song and see if you like it? And then she listened to it and she said, yes, Tito Joe, it's beautiful. When do we record? I said, let's do it Tuesday next week. Wow, sige. I learned it fast. Okay. That weekend, Monique Wilson went to Tagaytay. Sunday night, Howie, she called me, Tito Joe, I lost my voice. I'm sorry, I lost my voice. Can we postpone the recording? What? Oh no. Oh boy. But because we could not wait any longer, my record producer was in a hurry to release the album. Then I remembered my daughter. Because my daughter had appeared in several musical productions sa school niya. The one that I most remember is her role in King and I, The King and I. She played Top Tim. So I went to her room and I said, Liz, can you learn this song, please, in this cassette? What is this? I said, it's a Christmas song that I would like to record with you, duet. Okay, when do you need it? We record Tuesday. It's already Sunday night. But fortunately, because it's an easy song, she learned it and she has a good ear for music. She learned it 1, 2, 3, and we recorded it. And then when we finally presented it to Universal Records, sabi niya, yeah, but then it's too Christians, it's too Christian. You know, I don't think they will play it. Pero yung Perfect Christmas mo, yun ang palagay ko, that will become a hit. So, to go straight to the point, we held a press conference, inviting journalists, inviting radio announcers, record producers, in one room, and we sang the songs that are going to be part of this album to present to them. You know what their choice was? Christmas in Our Hearts. Even the radio announcers said, we prefer that song. So I looked at Belia Tan and I said, sabi mo, Perfect Christmas. And the rest is history. It picked up right away and the album outsold even my Constant Change. Christmas in Our Hearts has now sold triple diamond records. So it's God's gift. Nothing happens by chance. I think that I was blessed, first of all, with the gift of music from the time I was born. And then at this late age, it's God's gift to me. And I thank God every day for that gift, for that blessing, that Christmas in Our Hearts, 32 years later, Howie, is still being sung by our countrymen, young and old alike.
Yes, well, it is a gift. Yeah, it is a gift to listeners of many generations, Joe Maria, no? And it was written during a more innocent time. But, you know, these days, I just wanted to share, no? Because if you search the song, no, sometimes comments will come up. And of course, everyone now has a comment that's circulated because of social media, no? The first couple of lines, you know, refers to, if you recall, no, if we all recall, whenever I see girls and boys selling lanterns on the streets, no, you know, in the song it leads to a lines about Jesus, the child in the manger, no. But for others, parang it seemed to ang mas nag-resonate sa kanila yung child labor aspect, no, which of course in these days people are much more sensitive and aware of social issues like that, no? And I'm sure it's also come to your attention.
Okay, so is that how you understand that first line? Is that the same way you understand the child labor?
No, you know, whenever I hear it, I never even thought of it. But when I was researching, it just came up. No, people were making that comment. Na parang,
well, you know, there will always be people who will be negative. Okay, listen to the words. Whenever I see girls and boys selling lanterns on the streets, I remember the child in the manger as he sleeps. Okay, look deeper. The girls and boys selling lanterns on the streets are poor children. And Jesus Christ was born poor. He was born in a manger. He was not born in a hospital. He was not born in a rich man's home. He was born in a stable, in a manger, together with the cows and everything, because they couldn't find a room in the inn. So Joseph and Mary, they went to a stable, and that's where Jesus was born. So I identify the poor with baby Jesus.
Okay, well, that's a good point.
Yeah, the same way when I said, let love, like that starlight on that first Christmas morn, lead us back to the manger where Christ the child was born. The star of Bethlehem led the three kings to the manger. Okay? It was the star of Bethlehem. When they said, we had heard about this, the Savior is going to be born. We're going to follow that star, and it will lead us to the manger. Okay? So the lyrics say, let love, like that starlight on that first Christmas morn, lead us back to the manger where Christ the child was born. So the idea is to have love in your heart. When you have love in your heart, you will return to Jesus. See, analyze. Let love, like that starlight on that first Christmas morn, lead us back, like the three kings, lead us back to the manger where Christ the child was born. So the most important word, the operative word is love. Love towards the poor, love towards other people. So those who have plenty should share their blessings with those in need. See? So let those other people in the social media, because sorry, but they are. How can you identify child labor in that first line? That's just ignorance on their part. Ignorance. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to. They're just used to the rap music. Repeat. No melody, and then the words have no meaning. Have no meaning. Let's shake it, baby. Shake it, baby. What? Shake what? Sorry, I'm too critical. But when, there will always be people who will be critical of my songs. I'll give you an example. And I won't tell you the name of the person who said that, because he was a member also of the recording industry. When Constant Change, the album, became the first Diamond Record awardee. Before that, kasi gold record, then platinum, double platinum, triple platinum, quadruple, until when you reach 10 platinum, that's one diamond, okay? When Constant Change first became a Diamond Record awardee, one of the fellows in the industry, you know what he said? Anong diamond? Wala namang diamond dito ah. Baka sa China meron, pero dito wala. I just let that go. First of all, he was criticizing me as being a Chinese. And then he probably was saying na they just made that up. Wala namang diamond dito. First time namin nadinig yan. So I just laughed it off. And I forgive him. That's why when we pray, I said, forgive us for the, anyway, I don't want to criticize too much. But there will always be people who will not be happy with somebody else's success. They will always have something negative to say.
Okay, well, of course, that's also a reflection of this day and age when people with all kinds of opinions are given a platform and are amplified through our technology.
There was a meme recently where I was shown like a prisoner. There was a tape over my mouth, and then I was tied and seated on the chair. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
What
I
was the
think
message?
that's why I didn't know what they're trying to say. You know,
You did mention Jo Marie, your ethnic Chinese background, no? You're Chinese Filipino. You're born and raised here, no? So you're very Filipino as well, no? But you considered a pioneer, no? Kasi you got started in showbiz in the 1960s. There must not have been too many Chinese Filipinos in showbiz. Of course, for the longest time, syempre yung kinukuha sa showbiz, mga mistisohin, many of them were not even brown skinned, no? Were you unique when you were starting out? How did you feel about that, being Chinese Filipino and being in this industry? And were you considered a pioneer in the 1960s? I know you first came out on TV, as a host of a TV show.
I'm only part Chinese. On my mother's side, she has actually Spanish blood. She comes from the De La Viña, Alfon families in Cebu. But I think I got my musical talent from my grandmother's side, Alfon de la Viña, because my grandmother had a brother who was a playwright and a film director in Cebu during the heydays of the Cebuano film industry. And he was also a composer. So I think I got that love for music from that side. And there are some people who had that gift for music, but they did not pursue it. There are people who have that gift for painting, okay? But they chose not to pursue it. Why? Because painting, how can I make a living from painting? No, you see, that's the first impression. I'm grateful that I pursued my passion for music and at the same time working for my father, who was a businessman. So I had the best of both worlds. But despite what people said na, ay, walang pera dyan, you cannot make a living. No. That's my passion. I will pursue it. And so I'm glad I did. There was a fellow by the name of Pete Roa. Pete Roa was from ABS-CBN. And he must have seen me in school concerts, campus festivals, emceeing and singing and so on. And so he probably thought, hey, pwede to, I can get him, because ABS-CBN was putting up a show. It was like patterned after an American teenage show called Shindig, and then another TV show called Hullabaloo.
So we're talking about the 1960s, Jo Marie, just to give this perspective in history.
That's correct. Shindig and Hullabaloo are very popular teenage TV shows in America. And ABS-CBN wanted to pattern their local show after that. So a show where they would guest mga combos and bands and singers. And then, so he approached me, he went to the house and talked to my father and asked his permission if my father would allow me to be one of the hosts of that TV show. And they called it Nine Teeners. Nine Teeners, because it was Channel 9 at that time.
And how old were you?
I was 21. 2021. I was in college at the Ateneo. And so my father saw the glint in my eyes. He saw that I was excited to do this. And so he told Pete Roa, Pete, okay, I would agree to let him, because I can see that he loves it. I will allow him to host the show on 3 conditions. The first condition, that his grades will not suffer. The second condition is that it's a daily show and I don't want him to host it every day. Maybe 1 day a week, 2 days a week at most. And number 3, that you don't pay him a salary. He's doing it out of love. Okay, because anyway, I give him his allowance And that's it.
So you started out hosting this TV show. How long did it last? And a related question, were you already composing songs, original songs that you were singing at the time?
Yes, I was already composing songs, not that many, but I started composing when I was in high school. So I had accumulated songs, and then I would sing one or two during the 19er show to expose it to the public. Okay. So I did 19ers for about 2 years, because then I graduated from the university in 1967. I was 22. So that's it. Right after I graduated, then I began to work seriously, and I could no longer do 19ers. But what came out of 19ers that was good is because there's a local record producer named Sonny Lozano who heard one of my songs in 19ers, and that song was Afterglow.
Afterglow.
Yeah. And when he heard a song, he came to me and he said, "Joe, I like that song. I would like to produce a record of that." So that was my first break in recording. It was not the big recording companies that approached me. It was an independent record producer named Sonny Lozano who loved that song, Afterglow. And so that became my first recording, which led to my second, my third, my fourth, and so on and so forth. But that was the benchmark of, the starting point of my recording career.
Afterglow, no? Is this a familiar song today? Can you hum the melody? Baka familiar sa ibang listeners natin.
We're at the afterglow of what we both do know, how far we are from that dawn. The middle part is, love has to cry, but need not die. Heart has to sigh, the test of time. Many times I would bump into, older people, and they tell me, "Oy, I remember your Afterglow mo. Kinakanta ko dati yun sa girlfriend ko."
Did you also write the lyrics of the song?
Yes, both words and music, I wrote them.
Yeah, because previously you said that often you also get other people to write the lyrics. For example, yung Christmas in Our Hearts, no? Is that more an exception than the rule? Usually you write your own lyrics to the melodies that you compose?
Almost always, I write both words and music. There were instances when, like for example, Christmas in Our Hearts, because gipit kami sa panahon eh. Record company was rushing already to release the album. So, okay. There were times when I remember when after Ninoy Aquino died, they came out with a poem that was composed by Ninoy Aquino when he was in jail. Okay? He was jailed by President Marcos. And he wrote a love poem dedicated to Cory. And the poem was called, I Have Fallen in Love with the Same Woman 3 Times. It was a beautiful poem. And the Ninoy Aquino Foundation called me. This was after Ninoy passed away na. After the EDSA revolution already.
After 1986 pa.
Yeah, it was 87 or 80. I don't remember exactly. They called me and said, Ninoy Aquino had this beautiful poem. Could you set it to music? Aha, that's a challenge. So I came out with that song. I have fallen in love with the same woman 3 times. Okay. I have fallen in love with the same woman 3 times in a day spanning 19 years. Anyway, that's your assignment. Look for that song on Spotify and listen to it. Listen to the words of Ninoy, and then which I set to music.
You said that you have tried writing in Filipino, but why did you go almost the exclusively English route in your style, branding, and in your compositions?
Well, I'm more adept at writing English lyrics because of all the English prose and poetry that I was exposed to growing up. And I can express myself better in English. But Tagalog is only my third language. My second language is Ilonggo. Iloilo, Ilonggo. That's my second language. So when it comes to Tagalog, I would rather get a collaborator. I would rather get a co-writer. And I have many songs, Howie, in Tagalog that you probably were not aware that ako yung sumulat nun.
Talaga.
I'll give you an example.
Sige.
Mamang sorbetero, anong ngalan mo? Tinda mong ice cream, gustong gusto ko. I wrote that song. Celeste Legaspi had a big hit of that song. And my co-writer was Greek Ortalesa. And then I have another one. Siya'y magandang dalaga na hindi basta-basta kapag iyong makita, di ka maniniwala, mga kalalakihan kapag dumadaan tinitignan. Mukha niya parang reyna, ang kutis porselana, bewang parang botelya, hindi nakakasawa, Miss Universe ang forma, kapag matignan ka, tunaw ka na. Ha, ha. It was recorded by the Apo Hiking Society. The song is called Ang Nobya Kong Sexy, and it became the theme song of a movie. And the lyrics were written by Jim Paredes.
That's such a charming and upbeat melody, and the words. It's so Apo, but I never associated it with you. Maybe have you been tempted to compile these Tagalog or maybe you have Ilonggo songs as well into a separate collection?
No, those songs are available on Spotify, and I get royalties, and that's enough. I don't really have to blow my horn like, hey, this is my song. This is my. Okay, another Tagalog song that I've written, which to me is one of my best melodies. Okay, the song is called Hahanapin ko ang awit at ang tinig mo pag nalayo sa'yo. Hahanapin ko ang halakhak mo kahit na kung saang dako. That was originally recorded by Anthony Castello, lyrics by Jimmy Santiago, and recently it was recorded by Lea Salonga. That's your assignment.
Yeah, my colleagues and I, especially my younger colleagues, will look these up because they may not have heard of them before. Pero you have this English hit, no? This going back to English. Can we just stop and talk a while, no? It's a long time hit of yours. Pero in-update mo for our time, no? To provide comfort in a very difficult period of our history, of our lives, no? Many of us were locked up, depressed, we suffered. Many of us grieved during the pandemic, no? And it's still going on, no? So itong can we just stop and talk a while na medyo you updated it. What was the trigger for that?
Well, it was a hit of mine back in 73. That was the finalist in the World Popular Song Festival in Japan. I represented the Philippines, and that was the composition that was picked. And I remember singing that in Tokyo. The song became a big hit in the Philippines, and it led to my being named as one of the TOYM, one of the 10 outstanding young men of the Philippines. But then, of course, it was overtaken by Beautiful Girl, Tell Me Your Name. And then so when the pandemic came, I put in new lyrics to it. And I remember singing that. Finding you in the internet, let's Zoom together and share places we've never been. It's just an adaptation.
Yeah,
But the
well, it was so
original,
apropos, no? It was so apropos because we were all living through that experience, no matter where we were in the world, no? So, well, thank you for that. It did provide a lot of people comfort at a very, very difficult time, no? You were talking about OPM earlier. No? Anong tingin nyo sa OPM, how it's evolved, no? You've been a kind of a central figure in OPM, original Filipino music through the years and decades. No, earlier you were a bit critical of some of the music that you hear today from young
no, no,
people.
no,
No,
no, no, no. I was
Mm-mm.
not critical of the OPM today.
Mm-mm.
I was critical of American music that we are listening to on radio. If you listen to the modern songs that we import from the US, it's mostly beat, repeating, no melody. It's devoid of melody and devoid of substance. So that's my criticism, but not OPM, because the Filipino composers continue to write beautiful words and music. So before I'm misunderstood, I want to correct that. I'm not critical of OPM today. You know, you still hear beautiful melodies and sentiments written by our young composers and young songwriters.
Well, any of them that stand out to you that you've listened to, you've heard, and you've said, wow, ang ganda nito.
Yeah, well, Ben and Ben, they write good songs. Yes. Yeah. That is only one example.
So is it harder? Is it harder to make money these days as a songwriter, as a singer and performer? Because ang dami ng libre ngayon, no? sa internet, no? And it's
Yeah.
easy to pirate or to steal, no? But earlier in your day when you were first starting, you really have to buy records, no? That were promoted on radio. And I myself, I was an avid record buyer, no? Vinyl, no, 70s and 80s up to the 90s pa, no? But how has it changed commercially?
Well, the challenge is there, but I think that if a songwriter chooses to continue with this passion, he should get a career in a more stable career. For example, like I know this friend of mine who took up medicine. So he is now on the third year in medicine, but he continues to compose. You see? So not abandoning your passion, but being practical by choosing a more dependable career like medicine. Again, maybe there are people out there who want to become lawyers, engineers, go ahead, but continue to write your songs because that is God's gift, that gift of music. It's a talent that not everyone has. Continue to write, and then, yeah. Did you know that, Howie, that I used to write commercial jingles?
No, but I'm not that surprised.
There was a time when I wrote jingles like every week.
Were you part of a company that did that, or on your own?
No, on my own. On my own. They would call me and say, "Jo Marie, we have this product, and the tagline is this: Sa lasa walang tatalo sa Alaska." Can you put that to music? Sa lasa't lasa walang tatalo sa Alaska. Can you sing that, Howie? Do you know the melody?
I'm not a great singer, but I can hear it in my head.
Hum it.
Pakiulit nga yung lyrics.
Sa lasa't lasa walang tatalo
Walang tatalo sa Alaska.
That's it.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
you did that one.
Yeah. I wrote also, there are Chinese soups and there are Chinese soups, but there is nothing like no real Chinese soup.
You did that one too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You've been so prolific.
Thank God. Thank God. I always thank God. Every day.
What preoccupies you these days?
No, actually, I have to be honest with you, Howie. I have not composed a song in more than 5 years. Also because the music style has changed. Right now, the music that we're importing from America is repetitive, and the beat, the beat, the beat. I don't believe I should follow that because that's not where my heart is. I'm into love songs. And if they think that love songs are old-fashioned, then, I'm no longer inspired to compose new songs.
Well, I don't think you won't go out of style because Christmas won't go out of style, no? So, what makes Christmas music so special? Bakit paano naiiba ang Christmas music?
You were saying that the Philippines is known for the longest Christmas season. Okay, I've tried to analyze that, and this to me is the explanation. First of all, the Philippines is a Christian country, is a Christian nation. And so the celebration of Christmas, the birth of Jesus Christ, our Lord, our Savior, is of primary importance, number one. Number two, by nature, we Filipinos love festivities. We love fiestas. And it so happens that Christmas is the biggest fiesta of all. So that's why when September comes, they'd like to think like we're anticipating the most important season of the year, and it's coming very soon, and we want to welcome it with joy. We want to welcome it with music, with songs. And when I was growing up in Iloilo, I would be awakened by what they call the carolers. The carolers would come to the house, and just downstairs they would be singing Christmas carols. And so that is part of the celebration of Christmas. That is part of the festivity. And so we really look forward to hearing them sing those Christmas carols. Not mine, but the Christmas carols that were written long before you were born. Long before you and I were born. So Christmas will be celebrated every year, and they will always be looking for Christmas songs that will embody that spirit, that will embody the feeling of the Christmas season. And so I'm grateful that I composed Christmas in Our Hearts and A Perfect Christmas. And by the way, Howie, I have a new Christmas CD. New Christmas songs. And I want to send you a copy. I want to send you a copy. Yeah. And in that CD or in that album, there's even a Tagalog Christmas song, which I composed the melody, and it was recorded by the group The Company.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's much appreciated. Well, there's the next generation. You mentioned Aliza, no, as who collaborated with you. I know you have musical sons as well, no?
Okay. 3 musical sons.
So are you like your own father? I mean, are you like telling them, have a backup plan, go into business or work in the business in addition to, songwriting and entertainment?
They're all in business. They're all working for me. And even my grandchildren now are into music. So in this new Christmas album that I'm going to send you, I have a song which I sang duet with my granddaughter. It's called Song of the Firefly. Look forward to it.
Wow. Nice title. Song of the Fireflies.
I would like feedback from you. Sure. Honest feedback. You tell me like,
sure,
Joe, I like this song, but this one may not so commercial. But I like this one. Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being open-minded about that.
The Tagalog song in that album called Pinoy Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to embody the sound of the fiesta, and the rondalla. Tong tong
Mhm.
tong 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 tong, and then the banda pam 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 pam. You know, so when you listen to it, you can picture the barrios, the municipio, the city where they have the festivity of Christmas. So I
Wow.
tried to
Okay.
capture it. But speaking of collaboration, are you familiar with the Manhattan Transfer?
Yes, of course. Sa generation ko yan.
Yeah, I befriended two members from the Manhattan Connection. And one of them, Janice Siegel, has produced an album in the United States of my songs.
Really? And who performed them?
American singers, including Janice Siegel. You know, and that's my pride, Howie, because I've had songs that were recorded in Japan by Japanese singers, recorded in Taiwan and Hong Kong by singers from that area. I've had a song that was recorded by an Australian singer, by Malaysian singers, Indonesian singers, and even a Frenchman from Paris recorded one of my songs in French.
Wow.
The song is called Sous la pluie de Paris. Music is a creative process, and it's a universal language. So, Beautiful Girl can be translated into Japanese, you know, and recorded by a Hong Kong star. Music is a universal language, and I'm proud that I have reached that level. Not that I'm bragging, because I know it's a gift from God. Nothing to do with me. I'm, you know, Johann Sebastian Bach once said, I write the notes, but it's God who wrote the music. That's humility. Humility. I write the notes, but it's God who wrote the music.
We're all just instruments.
Amen.
Well, that's a great note to end on, Jo Marie. You know, we wanna thank you for your time, and especially for all of your charming stories. Thank you on behalf of so many listeners for keeping Christmas in our hearts. Thank you. Mabuhay ka, Jose Marie Chan.
Mabuhay ka din, Howie. Thank you very much for this time. And I enjoyed chatting with you and sharing my views, sharing my opinion, sharing my passion, which was music.
Salamat. Thank you so much. And we look forward to listening to more of that music. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Howie Severino. Check out the Howie Severino podcast, an original for GMA News and Public Affairs. New episodes will stream every Thursday. Listen for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms.